My reading strategy is reciprocal teaching. Reciprocal teaching is a strategy used to help students with reading comprehension. It teaches them to be involved in their reading and inquire about the content. It's a strategy that asks students and teachers to share the role of teacher by allowing both to lead the discussion about a given reading. Reciprocal teaching involves 4 strategies that guide the discussion. As you'll see in my lesson today, I am teaching first and second grader these strategies. So we are going to teach predicting, and we're going to use some props, and we're going to have Paula the predictor, and Paula is going to use a crystal ball to try to make predictions about the reading. We are going to be clarifying, and Clarence the clarifier is going to use his magnifying glass to help students clarify words or ideas that they don't understand. We're going to be asking questions, and Quinn the questioner is going to use her microphone, and Quinn is going to ask questions about the text and things that she may not understand. And then we're going to be summarizing, and Sammy the summarizer is going to use his lasso to draw in the main idea or the big idea. So we're going to filter out some of those details and smaller ideas and really dig in to try to grasp what the main idea of the pages are. The props are going to help the students keep their hands busy. It's going to help keep them engaged in the lesson, help them remember these strategies while they are reading. Reciprocal teaching is a skill that is taught to students. Often it is used in small groups. The teacher may or may not be present, and the strategy is used to help students learn the skills that they need to really comprehend the text that they're reading. We really want them to learn how to really dig into the text and really want to understand what the writer is trying to tell them in the text. So today I'm going to be demonstrating with my students, a first and second grader, the use of the strategies. I'm going to be introducing those strategies. So we're going to be working together, and eventually it would be something that they would be doing independently in a small group with typically about 4 students. Okay, hi class. Today we're going to learn about some strategies that we can use when we are reading. And those strategies are going to help us to be really good readers. And these are things that all good readers use. So we're going to learn some new tools to put in our reading toolbox, okay? Okay. So we're going to be talking about some characters. We're going to have some fun with this today. We are going to get to pretend that we are different characters that are going to teach us what we need to be doing while we're reading. So we're going to start with Paula the predictor. Paula has her crystal ball. And you know what she likes to do? Anybody guess? Predict, yes. She likes to make predictions about reading. So when would we want to predict things in our reading? Okay, yeah, everywhere. So as we're reading, we want to make predictions about what we're going to be reading, okay? So when we get the crystal ball out, we want to be making predictions, okay? Next is going to be Clarence the clarifier. And Clarence is going to use his magnifying glass. And he's going to do what? What do we want to know if we're trying to clarify?
Look at the word better.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to take a closer look at that word. So sometimes when we're reading, we're like, I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me. I never heard that word before. So we're going to get our magnifying glass out, and we're going to look a little more closely. And you know how we're going to do that? Isn't that cool? Brings that word right close to us, doesn't it? So you know how we're going to do that? We're going to look at all the words around it, and And we're going to try to clarify and better understand that word or even that idea. So sometimes there are ideas in books that we don't really understand either. So who's this? Clarence the Clarifier. And sometimes when we're reading, we have questions. Do you ever think when you're reading and you wonder about things and you're not really sure about things? Does that ever happen to you? Okay. So we're going to bring in Quinn the Questioner when we have questions. So we're going to get to use the microphone. You want to hold the microphone, Maddie? We're going to get to use the microphone and ask questions. What are some questions that we might ask? Questions begin with, do you know the question, the way we start some of these questions? Maybe we want to know who this guy is, right? Who is that guy? Or we might want to know, what is he doing?
Why does he have a snake on his head?
Why does he have a snake on his head? I think that's a good question.
Why does he have roots for hair?
Why does he have roots for hair? We might ask, when did this story take place? Or where did the story take place? And we might have a how question. Sometimes we can have a how question, okay? So who's this again, Maddie?
Quinn the
Questioner. Quinn the Questioner. Okay, so we might have questions, and we're going to ask Quinn the Questioner to maybe ask us some questions. We're going to use her when that comes up. And then the last one is summarizing. You have to be very careful with that. The last one is summarizing. Can anybody tell me what summarizing is? Sure. Oh, that's wonderful. So we want to explain something that may have maybe the pages that we're going to read in this book. We want to be able to summarize those. But do we want all the little details when we're summarizing? No. We want to have the big idea. So when we're summarizing, we're going to have the big idea. Okay? And our character for that is Sammy the Summarizer. Sammy's a cowboy, and he wants to lasso in those big ideas. Okay? All right. So we're going to get started on our story. Isaiah, do you want to read the title for us? Crinkle Root's Book of Animal Tracking. Do we have anybody that wants to make a prediction? Maddie?
He looks for animals.
Oh, I think that's probably a great prediction. What makes you think he looks for animals?
Because he's like looking at the footprints and there's a snake on his head.
Yes. So we think that Crinkle Root probably really likes animals, don't we? Mm-hmm. And we make a prediction that he's going to be looking for certain animals. Very good prediction, Maddie. Thank you. Okay. So let's get started on our book. Hello. You've been following Crinkle Root's tracks. My name is Crinkle Root, and these are my tracks. I can hear a fox turn in the forest and spot a mole hole on a mountain. I can find an owl in the daytime. So let's take a pause there. What have we learned? Do we have questions about anything that Crinkle Root has told us on this page? No? Do we want to know more? Yes. What do we want to know more about? What do we want to know more about? How to find animals. That's great. Is there anything that you don't understand? Anything we need to clarify? You just asked a really good question. Is there anything that we need to clarify? Do we need Clarence at all? No? Okay, I think we know all of those words. Maddie, can you tell me though what tracking is? What are tracks?
Like feet.
Okay.
If you don't have your shoes off, it'll make tracks.
Yes, So footprints, right? That's wonderful. Okay. So I think we're ready to move on. Okay. Well, you know what, Sammy? How about you summarize for us what we learned on this page? Okay. What about Crinkleroot? We learned that Crinkleroot likes to track animals. Very good. Okay. When I walk about the forest, I leave signs that tell I've been around. My footprints. Good prediction. We had the accurate prediction, didn't we? Animals leave marks and tracks that show where they have been and what they have been doing. I can show you how I find signs of animals that live near me. Then you can find signs of animals that live near you. One of the best places to look around is water. Animals are attracted to streams and ponds, park fountains, and even damp patches of grass. There they find water to drink and food to eat. This pond was created by beavers. Can you see the beaver signs? What are the beaver signs? Tell me what that is, Isaiah. Can you see any other beaver signs, Maddie? Yes. So that's like a pile of sticks that a beaver gathered. What do beavers do? Okay, let's make a prediction. They chew down trees. And what do they do with those chewed down trees? Okay. Now that we're seeing this picture, can we make any predictions about what we just learned on this page about what we're going to read next? So Crinkleroot has said, he's introduced us to what animal? Beaver. Do you think he's going to tell us more about beavers? Hold on, we're not ready for that yet. Do you think he's going to tell us more about beavers?
I think he's going to tell us about a different animal and beaver.
Okay, all right. That's a good prediction. Does anybody have anything that they want to clarify? You want Clarence the clarifier? Any words we don't know? Any ideas we aren't sure of? Okay. So we know all of the words. We've identified what tracks are and footprints are. What about a question? Do you have a question, Isaiah, about what we're reading?
Why do beavers
cut down trees? Why do beavers cut down trees? I think that is a great question. Can you summarize for us what we learned on these two pages? Did we? I don't think we did. We learned to see how can we see beaver signs of beavers? Yes. So what was another idea? Did we learn about where to look for animal tracks? No. Animals are attracted to water. So a good place to look for animal tracks is where? Okay. Well, what did Crinkleroot tell us? Good. Yeah, they're attracted to water. Okay, so readers. We talked about 4 things that readers do when they read. I'm going to get out each prop, and you're going to tell me what readers do, okay? Maddie, which one do you want to start with? That one? What do good readers do with that prop?
They look at the words and see if they can figure out the word.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to be Clarence the clarifier, and we're going to try to figure out what that word means. What are some of the ways that we can figure out what that word means?
How? Look at it.
Look at the word closely.
And try and see if there are syllables.
2 syllables? Okay. We're going to look and see what the other words are around that word, and they might be able to help us better understand, right? Now, what are we going to do with this, Isaiah?
Predict.
And what are we doing when we make a prediction?
We guess what's going to happen.
Yes, very good. We're going to make a prediction about what's going to happen in the story. And Maddie, what do we do with this?
Ask questions.
Yes. And what kinds of questions are we going to ask? We're going to ask questions that start with why, where, when, how, who, and who, and what. Okay? So we're going to ask questions that begin with those. So we're going to be Quinn the questioner. Okay? And now finally, Isaiah, what do we do with this?
Tell a part of the story in a short manner.
Yeah. Okay. And what's that called? Sammy the Summarizer. So we're going to be Sammy the Summarizer. And Sammy the Summarizer is going to tell us what kind of idea? How about a big idea? Not the small details, but we want to know the big idea. Okay? All right.